So with that, let me ask my first question to Rohan. With AI, the new AI-driven threats have emerged in last 12 to 18 months that security teams were not prepared for. What is the biggest new risk that wasn't on the team's radar a year ago?
All right. So, if you kind of rewind and take a look at the last 12 to 18 months, right? I would say that things have moved from essentially prompts to agents. And in the last 30 days, it's moved again. Because now, AI itself has created the most powerful security researcher that we've ever known. And I'm, of course, talking about the fact that Anthropic released Mythos through Project Glasswing just about a month ago, right? And as part of Mythos, it was released to about 40 or so partners, Microsoft, AWS, Google, NSA, and a few others, right? And the findings of that was what was really interesting, which is, it found close to 271 vulnerabilities in Firefox. And, it even found a vulnerability in OpenBSD, an operating system that has been known and touted for how secure it is, right? Which was 27 years old. So we are getting into an era where AI is actually finding vulnerabilities that have survived, decades of human review. So that's where the new threat landscape and constraint is now moving to. And enterprises, in the last 1-2 years, and in fact, we have helped many of them. So a little bit of a good and a bad thing for us as well, which is we have helped a lot of them build prompt firewalls, right? Like prompt foo, etc. Right? So, but now the move to that has been that it's not really about the prompt. The model is not where you have to really put all those security guardrails. It is actually in the fact of looking at how you can bring inside the identity governance layer and the right amount of controls in order to help with the next phase of Mythos class capability coming in. And to that end, I feel that enterprises who are going to be ahead are the ones who are not really looking at, the speed at which you can discover vulnerabilities, because that's probably going to be capable in about 6 to 18 months. And that means that adversaries are also going to have that capability in about 6 to 18 months. But it is in the velocity of how quickly you could go ahead and remediate those vulnerabilities and the governance that's going to come inside to go ahead and remediate those. I think that's where the shift in the focus should start going towards.
Thank you, Rohan. So let me ask follow-up questions to Jim. How has the definition of the cyber threat changed because of AI?
Well, I think it's changed drastically. We've lowered the bar on entry. We've created a new attack surface. We have things like prompt injecting. It's created quite a bit of change in how we're protecting our environment. And then you think about trust. When they do prompt injection, data poisoning, our employees or our business customers might lose that trust, not just because it's not available, but it's inaccurate. So we have a new attack surface that we're protecting, and then add that to your incident response. You have a whole new playbook you have to put together to protect that environment.
Certainly a new threat landscape, right, that enterprise need to address. So let me follow up with Bhavana on this one. Are attackers adopting AI faster than defenders? Where have you seen the biggest gap between AI excitement and AI readiness?
I'd say short answer, attackers are ahead. And not because they're smarter or they have a better technology, but I feel there is no friction. They don't have a change board. They don't have a compliance review. They don't have any ethics committee, right? They can experiment in real time, right? An attacker can essentially jailbreak a model Friday evening and then Monday morning can run a phishing campaign, right? And we, as defenders, on the other hand, take 90 days to review or approve a vendor itself, right? We've seen AI has helped scale some of these phishing attacks, malware development, voice cloning. It just takes like 3 seconds of somebody's voice. You can just clone it, right? Or recon, which used to take an operator maybe 2 weeks can be done by an AI agent in 20 minutes. Defenders have to take another approach, right? They have to balance security, privacy, compliance, and operational risk before they roll out AI broadly. So obviously there are enhancements that have helped defenders as well. If you look at Google's Big Sleep, right, where the real zero-day vulnerability was found, right, within the SQLite by AI agents. Look at Copilot, Claude, they're helping with triage, right? Passkeys, I would say they are killing phishing-related attacks, which actually convert. So I would say defenders are adopting deeper and attackers are adopting faster. The gap is the velocity and not the capability.
If I could just add one point to both what Jim and Bhavana just said, right? Which is kind of the break in the operating model. And, the defenders have to get it right every single time. I think that's the point that you were alluding to, Bhavana. The attackers have to only get it right once, right? And very important point from Jim as well, right? Which is, you can't basically have legacy operating models in a AI-first era, right? And that is true of any industry, whether it's going to be banking, financial, retail, energy, healthcare, etc., right? I would say more so in more regulated environments than others. So, and I think that's where it boils down, right? Change of operating model, increase velocity, and making sure that the defenders get ahead every single time than what the attack vectors are going to eventually exploit, right? In the next 6-12 months.
Great points. I know the panelists now put some basic framework there with the AI real-time threats, especially coming with the new landscape that the threat modeling in terms of the model corruption, hallucination, data poisoning, prompt injection. So various those challenges are coming in where we need to address, especially with the mythos, as Rohan mentioned, that the velocity of vulnerability identification is increased, and then we have to quickly adopt and mitigate them.